welcome to Rec Room. Say, have you ever had questions?
Would you rather live in an ice palace or a desert palace?
Shut up! Shut up!
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could talk to out here on Rec Room?
How much wood can a wood chop?
Can you please be quiet? We're trying to fight here, see?
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could voice your ideas to?
Man, who invented dino noises?
Shut up, kid! And come on down to PillowTalk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you! So, Dino, Jen, you two have been married now for over 37 years. How do you two, well, put up with each other for so long?
Yeah,
No, we're not.
Good.
That's actually a pretty good question coming from our fans in the stands. How do you guys plan on putting little old ladies into hockey?
Yeah, that is a really, really interesting question. What do you think, Cookie?
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. It was your guys' idea.
Now, Jaden, I need you and your team's help in order to make this bowl of ramen, and I've got all the ingredients you need right here. That's right, a traffic cone, a marshmallow on a stick, and for you Americans, a gun. That stick is high in fiber, don't you know? But everybody knows when you're driving your car out there, it needs a GPS system. That's right, a giraffe positional system with a giraffe's head poking out of the top. Well, let's see what that looks like out on the car that Hot Dog's drawn for us. Well, isn't that worth putting up on the refrigerator? You never know what's going to happen out here on PillowTalk. So come on down to PillowTalk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you. PillowTalk goes live every Sunday at 1 o'clock Central, only on Rec Room. All right, you nerds, get off my stage. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all you lovelies in between, it's time to ask the real questions, the burning questions, the questions on everybody's mind out here at PillowTalk. Hello and welcome to PillowTalk, the place where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you! And welcome once again to the broadcast show, where we take a special invite list and bring them up on stage and, well, we're going to be talking about all things PillowTalk and all things you. But first, we've got a question for you. Now that we're finally heading off into spring, what sort of springtime activities are you looking to be doing this year? Why don't you swing over to our comment section and let's get that conversation going. But in the meantime, we're going to be bringing up our first guest. You've probably seen this person before out there in the rec center, begging for the latest items. You know the guy. In the meantime, let's bring it up to our first person. Give it up for our guest. It's none other than...
Hello there.
Eggs Benedict. So, Eggs, besides being a wonderful breakfast, what is it exactly that you do out here on Rec Room in your spare time?
On Rec Room, I normally am either in SCP Foundation RR or building up my portal-themed dorm room.
Completely understandable. They're practically the same thing, right? Dealing with anomalous things and causing horrible accidents. Those corporations. Now, Eggs, let's talk about you here for a hot minute because I understand it that you're right on top of this sore subject that's been getting in the way of technology these days. Something about, what is it, right to repair? I thought anybody could repair anything if they put their mind to it. What's got everybody in a twist?
Yeah, companies like Apple have been implementing like serialized various parts of the phone, so you can't even repair the phone itself. And Samsung has been doing a lot of the same things because Samsung's always been a copycat company that's just been able to been successful for them.
What did I say, folks? Always with the corporations. But considering that they're trying to do that with their own parts, odds are someone's trying to make third-party parts. That way, anyone could be able to buy off of their merchandise, put it together, and have a working product. Is there anything like that for, like, Apple phones and Samsungs and all that jazz?
Oh, there definitely are parts for that. And heck, even for a lot of older devices, like older Nintendo consoles, there are a lot of parts like that. Though a lot of times it's questionable quality, and often even the best third-party parts are often not to the same quality as like the original parts.
Completely
It's just
understandable.
a lot
And if
of
it's
it's
falling
the best
apart
you
as
can get.
is.
So, though to be
Now,
fair,
Eggs,
there are some good parts though, but eh.
completely understandable. But as with any sort of technology these days, something's going to be falling apart here or there, which is why we need the repairs in the first place. Why don't we simply buy the items in bulk so we can keep it repaired and constantly going? Or is this something about someone putting out really shady things and hoping people would buy them? You know the kind.
A lot of the reason like you can't, it's like very wasteful to every time like your phone's screen breaks just to buy a whole new phone, especially with the cost of phones increasing in general. Um,
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
just not really feasible for a lot of people to just buy a new phone every time their screen either cracks or breaks. So instead of having to deal with a cracked screen and potentially getting glass in their hands while they use their phone, we should be able to actually repair the screen instead of having to deal with a broken screen until you can save up enough to get a new phone.
Or go through the returns process and have it be sent off to who knows where so you can start up with a fresh phone, have it show up on your front lawn, and see that that screen is cracked too. It should be an easy fix, but you got to make
And
that
also,
dollar,
not to
right?
mention the e-waste problem we're already dealing with. Being able to repair old tech, it needs to be crucial for not only the environment, but for people's wallets as well.
The environment. Who uses that, right, folks? If trees didn't want to be cut down, they would give us something more crucial than air to breathe, like Wi-Fi connection. But we'll worry about that part later. In the meantime, Eggs, odds are you could probably show us what you're talking about when it comes to repairing phone these days. And I know that a lot of kids out here in the stands should be able to make heads or tails of how that works. Mind showing us how it's done in our recently renovated toy box?
Alright, yeah, let's go.
Let's head on down.
Yeah, so basically, you got the phone here with this block,
As you do.
and in most phones you have to pry up on, you have to get the
Don't
screen
show
off
me,
first.
show them.
You have the phone here, here's the screen, which most phones now you have to take off the screen or to actually get access to the inside, because there aren't easily removable panels, so you can change things out like the battery like there used to be.
And I'm the cinder block that's going to sail through the window and hit that screen just like this.
Yes. So now the screen is
Who hasn't
broken.
had that
Now
happen?
you have to kind of get the screen off, which, oh no, it's adhesive down to the actual phone itself. So you have to use pry tools, trying not to actually damage the phone frame itself. Or well, before that you normally have to heat it up, but kind of skipping that step. Which you need to kind of pry up on it to actually get the screen off, and praying that you didn't damage the actual frame itself or do any like cosmetic damage.
Now remember, folks, when you find yourself in a sticky situation, all you have to do is just heat things up. Sorry.
And let's say that brick also, and also let's say that brick also damaged the camera, so now you have to replace that too. You remove the camera, and oh no, and you swap another one in, and oh no, and like before, and you apply new screen, stuff like that. But before you completely close it up, you test to make sure it works, and oh no, the camera doesn't work because it's serialized to the actual phone, And now you have to actually take it to the original manufacturer to either, and heck, the original manufacturer won't serialize those parts for you because you bought third party and are trying to actually repair your own crap. So now you have to swap one chip from the old broken camera to the new camera. You have to swap a chip, which requires very fine soldering, which most people
So as I'm
cannot
here with
do.
my Nokia N-Gage, well, this is the Nokia N-Gage. This is a cup of coffee. Everybody can see this is a cup of coffee, right? Okay, wonderful. But when you're sitting there with your really old phone, say, there's probably more ways to repair that than there is with more of the new stuff because they purposely put in code to make sure that no one else can come along and try to fix it. Shouldn't there be laws against such things?
Yes, there are, and because of lobbyists, which is, to be fair, just which is like pretty much just kind of hidden bribing, it's not a thing. Right to repair laws don't exist because of lobbying from massive tech corporations that are trying to get you to waste all of your money on constantly buying new devices.
And that's how they get
So
more
Apple
money
and
to make
Samsung,
sure that
screw
you have
them.
to spend your money. Give it up for Eggs Benedict for showing us how it's done, folks. Eggs, thank you so much for the information. You've been a treat. And if you wouldn't mind exiting through the curtain, right over here.
Alright, no problem.
You know how it goes, folks. There's always some complicated mess going on, but I'd like to assume that, the Fey Wilds did it. But in the meantime, my apologies if none of the boxes actually moved for you. We're having technical difficulties of our own, but thankfully, we get to repair that ourselves. Isn't that right, fellow wirers? In the meantime, let's bring it back over to the center and get back to talking to you. Now, obviously, we're out here in Rec Room creating all sorts of things for various people, from military maps to military maps to military maps to hangout spots to military maps. So who better to bring up on stage than someone who knows the insides and outsides of how to build your very first map? Give it up for our next guest. It's none other than Mr. Cam.
Hello.
Mr. Cam, I understand it that you have so many maps that you actually have a full-on production team for keeping up maps for all sorts of events. Tell us, what's this team name?
The team name is called the Alfonso Productions. That's where it's a musical show for musicals, talk shows, jazz events, rock shows, rap shows, some concerts, new sign-ups. Of course, we got a new fashion department that's coming back to Rec Room again, Alfonso.
That's absolutely awesome, Mr. Cam, and a great way for everyone to dodge the YouTube legal system. We all just want to enjoy a little bit of music without paying for it, right? And the radio just is not going to play that particular song. I know the one you're talking about. You're wrong for liking it. In the meantime, Mr. Cam, tell us more.
Basically, what we do is I also host a Saturday show for Alfonso. It's called Therapy Talk, which is hosted by myself, Snacky Buns, Ace, and Mohammed. We sometimes talk about a little bit about therapy, give therapy advice. Also, there's also another show on Sundays for Alfonso called the Alfonso Podcast. That's hosted by Zach, Bob, and a lot of other guests on there. And that's it. And we also have another map called the Juke Joint, the Alfonso Juke Joint. That's coming out too. Where you guess your favorite song, you can guess all your songs on that for pretty much any song.
That sounds amazing. Does it have the unreleased track by Usher? I believe it's Confessions Part 3 as played by Al Yankovic by chance?
I do not believe so.
Oh, come on. Any one that I can guess should be on there. It's all right. But we'll get that in the patch notes. It'll be fine. Now, Mr. Cam, when you're working with the Alfonso Productions, what is the main goal when it comes to creating the maps that you put out here on Rec Room? What's the whole point behind it?
Basically, to get more people into the community, grab more staff members, to pretty much more.
That sounds absolutely amazing. But since we're putting this out here for the community, how do they interact with the community through the various events?
Basically, we have a Discord called for Rapunzel Productions. That's where we usually communicate with our staff and our community. Let them know, like, hey, we got events coming up. We got to get we do an active checks for it as well. So pretty much a really fun community to be with part of, and I'm thrilled that Caprino gave me the opportunity to be in the Fonzo community.
That sounds absolutely awesome, Mr. Cam. So tell us, when's the next Alfonso Productions production going live in the event sections? And is there a regular time that your folks actually put on shows for people?
It's usually we put them on. Some jazz events are Friday nights, and so is all the other shows on Saturdays and Sundays. And we got the podcast for a couple of hours, and then I got to sign up for a talk show in an hour or two.
You know how it goes, folks. When you get popular, everyone wants to talk to you and everyone wants to put a microphone in your face. You'll have to learn how to make sure that everybody gets their fair share, but we'll worry about that part later. In the meantime, if you're looking for awesome entertainment made locally out here on Rec Room, look no further than Alfonso Productions. Give it up for Mr. Cam and the Alfonso team, everybody.
Real quick. Gome.
Oh, absolutely. Now remember, this is going to be 50 tokens. We're going to take that out of your paycheck. Anyways, it's always
Indeed.
great to work with you, Mr. Cam.
All great to work with you as well, man.
We'll see you next time. But speaking of next time, we promised someone from our last show to bring him up on stage. And of course, we absolutely lied to them. We don't know where they are today. So instead, we're going to bring up a new person. This particular character we've all seen out there at some point during the Rec Room Originals, always carrying the team and doing what they can to keep everybody together. And we're here to ignore their advice once again. It's none other than Light. Hey there, Light. Tell us, what do you do for the Rec Room community out here on, well, Rec Room these days?
We work at PillowTalk. Sometimes me and Kuiper do FM events, which it's kind of dead. Sometimes do Aztec bar events, which also is kind of dead because he doesn't host them.
You know how it goes, folks. When you try to get events going and people just don't know you're there, it happens to everybody at every time. But Light, let's shine some light on you specifically, because I understand it that you grew up with, 6 toes? What was that like for you during your high school years?
It was so hard to put on shoes, man, because the shoes are always so small. I couldn't fit all my 6 little piggies in my feet.
Exactly. It's all about
Yeah.
adapting to the situation you find yourself in, even if you have to live a life of sandals all the way up north in Minnesota. The snow seasons, am I right? Now, Light, we do have another question here for you, and that question is, who just sent you a gift?
It was from Random, and they said, "You're a nerd."
Well, at least he's right on that. Anyways, Light, let's get back over to you for a good minute here, because you've been out here on Rec Room for quite some time, inside of all sorts of productions out there in the event sections. Tell us, what's the weirdest map you've ever been in?
That's kind of hard. I feel like one time me and Zonin joined a military, and there was Travis Scott playing, and there was people flying around spawning random inventions. I probably have to say that one. That was the most randomest room.
Well, it sounds like he still needs to get out there more, but that's okay. We'll worry about that next time. It's all about the company you keep when they're lethal. Am I right, folks? Now, Light, we also have some more questions from some of your fans out here in the stands, like Random, who absolutely wants to know, who asked?
I don't know, dude. I'm still trying to find.
And that, hopefully you'll be able to use that later on, Random. In the meantime, though, Light, we do have another serious question here for you, and this one keeps popping up in my feed at the moment as I bring up the menus, and they simply want to know, have you ever been so far as to consider what possibly could have been felt like?
Yeah, dude, all the time. I think about that like every time I come home from school. I can't.
And there you have it, folks. Do you have the answer, though? Do you know what it is to have been felt like?
Yeah.
And there you have it, folks. Give it up for Light for shining light onto the darkness of his life.
Yep. Okay.
Good luck with that monkey on your back, my guy. Yeah, you know how it is. Anyways, let's move on to our next guest. This particular character you've actually heard of in several different rooms out here on Rec Room. And he's here to lend an ear to how you could possibly do your own voice work in the many rooms that you find out on Rec Room. Give it up for our next guest. It's none other than Dewdrop.
Hi! Real quick, let's get some hype in the chat for Nate being on their first broadcast event. I'm looking at the chat right now. Let's get some hype.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see the hype for... No, not you, Random. Stop that. You're just a hater. Anyways, Dewdrop, I understand it that you have the eye for all the fashions out here on Rec Room, and you have all sorts of different outfits that unfortunately we can't actually change into while we're doing broadcasts. Otherwise, we would go through your whole catalog. Tell us, what are some combinations that people can do with the brand new hat that's out there in the rec center these days?
You mean like this hat I'm wearing right now?
According to this, you're currently wearing your PillowTalk
Oh, wait a minute.
sweater.
That's the wrong outfit.
Exactly. We're doing a broadcast, unfortunately. Can't switch your outfit.
You can use this outfit, which I'm actually supposed to wear. You can make this kind of outfit with it.
You totally could. Tell
Oh.
us, what are the names of some of the items that go along with it for those who can't actually see what the change?
Hang on. For some reason, it didn't actually broadcast me during the first question. I need to do my intro again, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So,
no worries,
let's
no
get
worries.
some hype
Sorry
in the
about
chat
that,
for me
folks.
being on my first broadcasting event. Let's get some hype in the chat. Let's get W's in the chat. Put W in the chat.
There we go. Now
W in the
then,
chat.
that's what you were
Yes,
talking to me
W in the
about. Sorry
chat.
about that.
Yeah.
You know how it
sorry
goes.
for
You never
that.
know what's going to happen out here.
Yeah,
But-
we're actually getting W's in the chat. Thank you so much, guys.
So, obviously,
Anyway.
you got several pieces that go along with the hat because they were designed to be along with that particular outfit. What are some other things that you would use for that hat or items that would look great with that hat?
You could use the raincoat in green for torso items, and you could use the shoulder piece that came with the gardener set. You can use that too, or the belt. Either one would work. That's all I have for. You could change these glasses out too. I would suggest the round glasses.
Oh yes, of course. I was going to
Like,
go
you
with the
can choose
monocle
the ones I'm
myself,
wearing
but
right now, or you
we
can
got to
choose
afford
the
that first, right?
patterned ones. Like, there's a lot of opportunities with items in Rec Room.
Oh, absolutely. They bring out all sorts of awesome items, and for some reason they continue to clip into each other, but that's for us to worry about when we're trying stuff on. Am I right, folks? Now, Dewdrop, we do have another question here for you, and this one comes over from one of your fans standing right over here in another lobby. And what they want to know is, we understand it that in order to make the money to get these particular items, you've taken up a side job of selling bootleg DVDs at the White House. Tell us, what's business been like for you out there? Must be good, right, if you can afford these?
Yeah, if I am affording all of this, then my job must be doing very well. Actually, I have a few other jobs that, like, I'm not explaining those jobs right now. As you can already see, I'm in one of them. I work here, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. But this job doesn't pay anybody anything.
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
broke.
get paid.
But that's okay.
here.
We'll worry about that part later. Please don't quit. I know you need money. We'll come back to that. In the meantime, Dewdrop, we do have one final question here for you. And this one, I'm sure we were all asking out there in the chat section, trying to hype things up. Tell us, Dewdrop, the one question that kept popping up in the chats. What's the average air velocity of an overladen swallow?
35.
And that's the answer we all wanted. Give it up for Dewdrop, everybody.
Put W's in the chat. They
And
yell
thank
so
you
much.
for the W. Dewdrop, it's always great to have you out on stage, and I hope you had fun during your first broadcast event.
Yeah, I definitely had fun. Definitely doing this again.
Oh, absolutely. We like to save it for a rainy day. Get it? Because it's spring
Yeah.
and it's
Pun on my
constantly
name. I
raining.
love puns.
Hey, no worries. If you wouldn't mind exiting through the curtains to your left or your right, we will be sure to see you in the next show.
Yeah, huh? Also, guys, my birthday's in 2 days. So, yay.
Congratulations! You'll finally be able to get off the junior account. But that's all right. We'll worry about that in 2 days. In the meantime, though, let's bring it up to our next guest, because this particular character's been waiting to get up on stage for forever, and we can't wait to talk to him. And it turns out they're not actually in here, so we're going to have to move that along. Who else is on the... Oh, we have to talk to this guy? I thought we kicked him out. Okay, fine. We're going to talk to this guy next. Give it up for our next guest. It's none other than...
Hello!
Ace, the narrator.
Hey, how's it going, Foggy?
Oh, you know me, having a great time out here at PillowTalk. But enough about me. People want to know more about you as Ace, the narrator. I understand that you've actually taken up plenty of different contracts to put your voice into all sorts of things out here on Rec Room. What's been your latest expose out here on Rec Room? What's your latest project?
Oh, well, I guess I can do a little bit of spoilers here. So my latest project is that I'm going to be doing pre-recorded audios that anyone can purchase and put right into their own events, bars, militaries, anything you can think of. It'll be easy to install and anyone can use it.
That sounds absolutely awesome, Ace. But that sounds like there's going to be a lot of work and all sorts of generic things that people could use everywhere. What about specific things for specific types of militaries out there? Odds are they're going to want their different stylings on things. Would you provide a service for them as well?
Of course, if anyone wants a more, custom one, obviously it's going to be a little more money, but you can personally contact me, and I'll record a personal, sound pack just for you.
And we'll come back to that after the show once he actually has the time to address it. But in the meantime, since obviously you're Ace the narrator, you should be able to narrate just about anything, right? Mind helping people understand how that goes in our recently renovated kitchen?
I would love to.
Wonderful. Let's head on down. Now, Ace, you're going to handle the crowd, and I'm just going to act out what anybody could be doing out here in the kitchen, like baking a pie. I'll just go through the usual motions, and all you have to do is narrate. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. Let's get it started.
Wonderful.
All right, folks, so he's going to be opening up the kitchen. He opened up the fridge. He's taking some stuff here. Ooh, what is that? It looks like a deadly syringe. Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't worry about it, folks. It seems to be dull, so he's throwing it out. He's going to take another look. Ooh. And obviously, when it comes to most poisons, you're obviously going to put it right in that weird-looking microwave/oven. You're going to put it right in there. You're going to set it. And obviously, it's not going to work, so you're going to punch it. But it's glass, so it hurts. It's getting so hot. So, obviously, you're going to take another look into the fridge, see if you can find anything. He takes a nice sip of that milk. However, it was expired. And it's all just going down. I just cleaned that. He's puking all over the sink. It's just not going well for him. But it's okay. It seems like he got that thing right out of his system. Taking another look in the fridge, see if he can find anything. He's got a weird-looking jug full of a mysterious red liquid that we're not going to talk about. He's going to put that right on the pan. There you go. Turn on that stove. He's cooking it. Looks like he wants it pancake style. But then he realized he can use it as a deadly weapon. And just like that, he was able to land it in, but he accidentally hit himself right in the head. You know what happens, folks. Sometimes you just can't make it land. Looks like he's got another plan. Opening up the fridge one more time. Ooh, opening up the freezer this time. Ooh. He's got another jar of mysterious liquid here. Of anything. He's putting that right in the microwave. He's setting up a time. And boom, getting started. And now he's thinking about what he could be doing right now. But uh-oh!
Oh
It's
god, the
fire!
thing was muted. That thing's going to explode. We need to go. And give it up for Ace the Narrator, everybody. If you need
thank
something
you.
narrated out here on Rec Room, you find Ace the Narrator. I also enjoy how you got like half of that wrong, but I definitely enjoyed the experience. You were great. Ace.
Listen, man, it's all about improv.
Exactly, and we can certainly improv upon that, but we'll worry about that part later. Ace, it's been absolutely wonderful having you, my man, and if you wouldn't mind exiting through the curtain, right over here.
Of course. Now, you did make sure to remove the saw blades, right? Because remember, last time,
No, yeah,
you know...
absolutely. Well, this is a broadcast. We wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, of course. All right, thanks, man. Ah!
But there is the case of the glass figurines. That's all right. Insurance will cover it. In the meantime, though, we got to take a quick break to make sure all the wires are still working, make sure you can actually see the action that's happening up here, and Lord knows I could use a drink of water at this point, and this one up here is made out of digits. I'm not going to be able to drink that. So you sit tight, and we'll be back after this. Hello, welcome to Rec Room. Say, have you ever had questions?
Would you rather live in an ice palace or a desert palace?
Shut up! Shut up!
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could talk to out here on Rec Room?
How much wood can a wood chuck?
Can you please be quiet? We're trying to fight here, see?
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could voice your ideas to?
Man, who invented dino noises?
Shut up, kid! And come on down to PillowTalk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you! So, Dino, Jen, you two have been married now for over 37 years. How do you two, well, put up with each other for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
no, we're not.
Good.
That's actually a pretty good question coming from our fans in the stands. How do you guys plan on putting little old ladies into hockey?
Yeah, that is a really, really interesting question. What do you think, Cookie?
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. It was your guys' idea.
Now, Jaden, I need you and your team's help in order to make this bowl of ramen, and I've got all the ingredients you need right here. That's right, a traffic cone, a marshmallow on a stick, and for you Americans, a gun. That stick is high in fiber, don't you know? But everybody knows when you're driving your car out there, it needs a GPS system. That's right, a giraffe positional system with a giraffe's head poking out of the top. Well, let's see what that looks like out on the car that Hot Dog's drawn for us. Well, isn't that worth putting up on the refrigerator? You never know what's going to happen out here on Pillow Talk. So come on down to Pillow Talk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you. Pillow Talk goes live every Sunday at 1 o'clock Central, only on Rec Room. All right, you nerds, get off my stage. Hello, welcome to Rec Room. Say, have you ever had questions?
Would you rather live in an ice palace or a desert palace?
Shut up! Shut up!
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could talk to out here on Rec Room?
How much wood can a wood chop?
Can you please be quiet? We're trying to fight here, see?
Don't you just wish that there was someone you could voice your ideas to?
Man, who invented dino noises?
Shut up, kid! And come on down to Pillow Talk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you! So, Dino, Jen, you two have been married now for over 37 years. How do you two, well, put up with each other for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
no, we're not.
Good.
That's actually a pretty good question coming from our fans in the stands. How do you guys plan on putting little old ladies into hockey?
Yeah, that is a really, really interesting question. What do you think, Cookie?
I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I don't know. It was your guys' idea.
Now, Jaden, I need you and your team's help in order to make this bowl of ramen, and I've got all the ingredients you need right here. That's right, a traffic cone, a marshmallow on a stick, and for you Americans, a gun. That stick is high in fiber, don't you know? But everybody knows when you're driving your car out there, it needs a GPS system. That's right, a giraffe positional system with a giraffe's head poking out of the top. Well, let's see what that looks like out on the car that Hot Dog's drawn for us. Well, isn't that worth putting up on the refrigerator? You never know what's going to happen out here on Pillow Talk. So come on down to Pillow Talk, where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you. Pillow Talk goes live every Sunday at 1 o'clock Central, only on Rec Room. All right, you nerds, get off my stage. All right, the wires are where they need to be. We have people lined up in order to get up on stage, and, oh, there's a loose wire right there. Oh, I wonder if any electricity is going through it. Better taste it to find out. Okay, yep, definitely has live wire going for that one. But that's all right. We'll make sure that that gets connected somewhere in a minute, because we need to get back to asking the real questions, the burning questions, the questions on everybody's mind out here at Pillow Talk. Hello and welcome back to Pillow Talk, the place where we talk to the most important people in Rec Room, you. We've got more characters to talk to tonight and all sorts of questions to ask. So let's get started with our next guest. This particular character, more than likely you've actually seen out there in the rec center, and more than likely making those 3 throws from all the way across the map. Give it up for our next... Oh, right, the giveaway. Absolutely. Congratulations to our winner over in Sub Room 3. You know who you are. In the meantime, let's bring it over to our next guest. It's none other than... It's time for Ethernet. Time for pizza.
Okay. Hey there, Foggy. How you doing?
Oh, you know me, having a great time out here at Pillow Talk. Say,
Of course.
I hear that you had your own experience with broadcasting as of recently. How'd that go for you?
Yeah, my little broadcast event. I'm recognizing a couple people in the chat. So, I mean, I would say it went pretty good, except for the fact when my Wi-Fi went out and we don't want to talk about that, but
Okay, no worries. You had to have been there, folks. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people in chat saying that the curtains are down for them, that they can't really see, and they need to see your beautiful face, Foggy.
Oh, of course, absolutely. But it's always got to be something, right, folks? How about now? Can anybody see me? I want attention. I need people to look at me. I'm hearing a lot of notes as well, but you know how it goes. All right, we're just going to bring the curtains back down for a hot second, bring them back up, and let's find out what happened. All right, folks. How about now? Oh, it's always got to be something, right? But in the meantime, while that's getting worked out, let's get back over to Time for Pizza here, because I understand it that this isn't your first rodeo when it comes to, well, talk shows out here on Rec Room. You've been a part of and helped create several different kinds of talk shows out here on the platform. Tell us, what are some insights that you could give to the people out here for making their own rooms?
Now, for making your own rooms, if you're wanting to make a talk show, you gotta look at, what really draws you into Pillow Talk. I mean, obviously, you have to have a great host like Foggy himself, and you gotta have a good room. Now, how do you build a good room? Now, I mean, hold up.
That's
You
an
need to
excellent
join.
question, but before we
Yeah.
answer that, I have a quick question for you.
Oh,
How
no.
do we build an excellent room?
How do you build an excellent room? Well, there are quite a few YouTube tutorials out there that I would recommend people to go on. There's multiple ones. Also, there's a bunch of Rec Room classes that you can feel free to join. I have one. It's just a building class, but there are multiple other ones out there that are incredible that you can learn how to, build whatever, build from talk shows or just do circuits or whatever you want to do.
And there you have it, folks. When you're trying to build your own room, there's tutorials out there, but let's all be honest here. You can't exactly tutorial your way through having taste. Am I right? But we'll worry about that part later. In the meantime, Pizza, we actually have a couple of questions about you specifically, because I understand it that when you were born, you fell and hit every single branch of the ugly tree all the way down to the ground. Tell us, what was life back in school for you?
Man,
Endured such
I
hardship.
took a tumble. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I fell far. So back in the good old like elementary school, right? Like, holy, like, I had a couple dents in my head. People just kind of look at me funny. Like, I don't know. I took a far tumble, is what my mom's been telling me. Hit
Just
my
like
head
we
pretty
do
hard.
today. Am I right, folks?
Yes, yeah.
Now, time for pizza. I understand it that, excuse me. I understand it that you've actually helped us out here at Pillow Talk for quite some time, especially for helping with the various foggy clones that we've been making out here.
Ooh,
You never know
yes.
what's going to happen out here on Rec Room, folks, and we like to have a few clones of the host on the off chance that things go, awry. Tell us, what are some of the processes into making one of these clones?
Now, you see, we've been working on these clones for a good 4.5 years before Pillow Talk was even started. So I don't want to go through the entire process, but it takes, we have a whole factory just filled with foggy clones from, the beautiful mustache to the wavy hair. It just really describes Foggy. Now, there might be a couple of foggy clones behind me, or you never know.
Come on
we're
now.
still
We
working
wouldn't
on
just let the foggy clones out and try to bite people and infect people with the foggy clone virus. That couldn't happen too. They are getting up here.
Pillow
we have a
Talk.
couple of...
Pillow Talk.
Oh, no.
Pillow
No,
Talk.
down you clone.
Pillow
You think you can come
Talk.
up here and bite me and test? I'm a foggy as well. He's not a foggy. Bite him.
Yo, shoot!
Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk.
Bro, I
Time for
programmed
pizza.
you the
I don't
same.
like being bit, and you're
Pillow
a pizza.
Talk.
You should be used to it by now, right?
Yo, no.
Pillow Talk.
I built these things, bro. I know these things best. Yo, what the? I did not
Pillow
program it to do that.
Okay,
Pillow
foggy clones.
Talk.
Okay, foggy clones. Come on. Hang on. Come on, foggy clones. I know you're hungry, but we definitely have actual pizza behind the curtain right over here. Certainly not
Pillow
sitting on
Talk?
top of a trap at all. That's right. Come on, you two. Let's get you back to the vats. To the pizza.
Pillow
In you
Talk.
go.
Oh, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
really
we
like
don't
them
talk
anyway.
about that. They'll be repurposed. It'll be fine. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
I think that's how
Now,
AI is
time
going
for
to
pizza.
control the world.
We do have another question from one of your fans out there in the stands, and they want to know, what are your thoughts on time for pineapple pizza? One of your rivals out here on Rec Room.
Well, this pineapple pizza, I gotta say, I'm not personally a fan of it. There's I think a good pepperoni is the best type of pizza in my personal opinion. But yeah, pineapple pizza is just not it. I don't know how many pineapple pizza fans are out there, but
Quite the controversy. Something that we'll probably go over in our official show next week, but that's all right. We're here with you now, Time for Pizza, and we're going to make time for one more special question. And that question's going to come from the crowd. Our top question for you is thoughts on time for terrible Wi-Fi?
bro, I thought I got rid of. Oh my. You know what?
There is no escaping.
I guess not. Time, after that horrible experience with my terrible Wi-Fi, I actually placed an order on Amazon for a Ethernet cable. I need
And
to get some
definitely
better
a roll of
Wi-Fi.
quarters
Need
so
to get
that
off this
that
T-Mobile
Wi-Fi doesn't run
hotspot.
out on you when you least expect it. Let's give it all up for Time for Pizza, everybody, for coming out here and finally making the Wi-Fi work.
Yes, my pleasure. Did you ever remove those things that like killed the foggy
Oh
clones?
yeah, literally do not go through that curtain. I highly recommend going through this one.
Oh.
That one's probably not covered in fog.
Shoot!
Oh, hey, I think he fell into the other trap. That's okay. He can be cloned too. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. In the meantime, though, we've been up here yammering away about all sorts of things, this, that, and the other. It's time that we actually listen to some of the questions that you have out there in the various instances. Let's head over to the chat section for a hot section and address some of the questions that you might have for us out here at Pillow Talk. Because, as you may have seen, we're not picking out people from the crowd today. This is a broadcast show. The broadcast shows are actually invite only, and you can only come up on broadcast if, well, Rec Room says you can. We'll only be doing this once a month, so if you swing on over to our Discord, the various things that we're looking for is going to be printed out for you right over there. Now, I understand that a lot of you are also asking for invites, but like I said, it's invite only this time around. I promise you, next show, we're going to get everybody up on stage with a line system, get as many people up on stage and talk about all things you as we normally do out here on Pillow Talk. Thunder says he stole the pan. No, you didn't. It's right here. Now, it's not going to show on my end to your end because for some reason the movable items are not showing for everybody, but tell you what, you can pretend you have a pan all day long. Rec wants to know, is the Rec Room community dying? As much as it feels like it's dying, it's just going through a phase at the moment. Don't worry about it. The folks over at Rec Room are going to do what they can to revamp the numbers however they do, but at the same time, you know how Rec Room does. No matter what kind of things break, we're always going to find ways to fix it back up and get it back out to you. Light wants to know what I did with those orphans back in '99. You're not supposed to do that. Security, do something about him. Techo7 wants to know, how many times have you been cloned? Oh, me, personally, just the once. We have the original Foggy locked up somewhere, so we'll continue to get quality clones just for you. Tyrion Michelson wants to know, what do you think of Cadbury chocolate? I gotta say, I absolutely adore it on the occasion, but not as a everyday sort of thing. Mystical Tree wants to know, what caused you to start Pillow Talk? It's actually a fun story. Way back when I was just an event hopper, kind of like you, going to various places and talking to people. I met this one kid who had just started off his very first mansion because back in the day, nightclubs were all the thing, and as well as room parties or something like that. Either way, he loved my little bit so much that he created a whole different room just so I could record the various things for Pillow Talk. And eventually he created all these awesome auditoriums that you're sitting in today. And his name is Kuiper. So without him, we wouldn't have a show here for you. Leo wants to know, when was the last time you have been shocked? Oh, not since, what was that, Vegas back in 02, I believe? But then again, I deserve to be tased for that. I know what I did. In the meantime, let's bring it over here. Keith wants to know, what do you think of toxic people? And we all have to go through a healing journey at some point, and sometimes people just don't go through them. It's really just human nature to a degree, and something that everyone needs to work on at their own pace. And then, of course, if you can make it funny, all the better. Amy wants to know, is your mustache real? What, this? Oh no, this is code. My whole thing is code. We are code. But that's okay. That's just code for having fun. Ah wants to know, can you say bazinga? Unfortunately, no. I would just mispronounce it and I wouldn't be able to get it out right. It's fine. It's fine. We'll come back to it later. How do you feel about buffalo pizza? I've never had buffalo myself, but I would like to try it at some point. But I suppose that's just the white colonist in me, but we'll worry about that part later. Time for Pizza wants to know, is your voice an AI? Oh, no. It's just some guy with an Oculus Quest 2. And you would know if you hang out with me over on our Discord. Yes, I am going to keep plugging that. Leo wants to know, can I do a Q&A with you? Well, isn't that what we're doing here right now with everybody? Outer Space wants to know, how did you get the recognition you get today? Now, that's something a lot of kids don't know about, am I right, folks? It's all about building your community. It's all about keeping up a steady progress. Like how we've been saying, we always do a Pillow Talk show every Sunday at 1 o'clock Central, only on Rec Room. And it was Saturdays for a while, but you know how it is. Real life always takes priority over the virtual life. But we've been keeping that steady for years. And at this point, we're kind of just, Rec Room famous, which is a niche within a niche that's also within a niche. And since it's on VR, it's also in that niche. And either way, as much as we're kind of famous, we're really not. We're really not. His wants to know, what's your favorite show? Now, there's a lot of great ones out there, absolutely, from all sorts of different angles. My current favorite that I'm watching at the moment is actually the new X-Men 97 because of the animation. It's absolutely magnificent. It reminds me of this one guy that I watch on YouTube for his Metal Gear Solid animations, but we'll worry about that later. In the meantime, though, that's actually a good question. Can we bring up one more guest? I'm sure we can. Let's give it up for our last guest here tonight, and let's bring him up on stage. Give it up for our person. It's none other than... Laser! Laser, welcome to the show. You've been here with the show for nearly as long as we have. Tell us, what are some of the awesome things that you've seen come and go out here on Rec Room?
Well, there has been a lot of great people who've been on this stage before, and quite frankly, I think the people who've been on here has been just amazing, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you guys so much for your support.
Absolutely. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are today, sitting in our various rooms and pretending to talk to each other over the internet. But enough about that. Laser, we understand it that you actually are from a multiverse, isn't that right? And an evil version of you tried to kidnap you last Halloween? What was it, Plasma or somebody? Whatever happened to that storyline?
Well, for one, Plasma is sentenced to death because he tried to rob a bank several times. He did successfully, but then he just messed up, and he got caught, and now he's sentenced to death.
Yeah, you know how it goes, folks. If you don't do the crime, you don't have to do the time. Now, we want to talk to you about what you do out here on Rec Room, because you're one of the vets. You've been here for so long. You know everybody, even Coach. What are some of the things that you like to do that keeps you coming back to Rec Room?
Well, for one, updates to the game would be amazing. Like the game system that's been on Rec Room pretty recently. That's probably the newest thing in Rec Room. But other than that, that's what keeps me going is updates.
Always something new, hopefully, out here on Rec Room, and hopefully stuff that we can actually afford, unlike, some exclusive items from a certain Backrooms dweller. Now, Laser, out of all the rooms and all the places that people have made for Rec Room, from Rec Room Originals to community maps to various other broadcasts that are put out here on Rec Room, which one is your favorite?
Man, I've been thinking of this question long and hard, even before someone even asked it. And my personal favorite Rec Room would probably be Geometry Dash. It is a great recreation of the game.
Absolutely. I was there when Geometry Dash actually was released, and I never played it myself, but that's not for me to worry about. Now, Laser, we do have another question here for you, and this one actually comes over from our good folks who are watching the show right now. and they absolutely want to know, could you show them the room? That's for Spoiled Rabbit, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's easy. All you need to just search up Geometry Dash. Should be bright colors, everything. It should just pop up right there.
It's easy, folks. All you have to do is know a little Google foo, but we'll come back to that later. In the meantime, Laser, what are some projects that you've been working on out here at Rec Room? What are some namesakes that you're looking to bring into the world out here?
Well, I had this plan for the longest time is to bring Game of Games. If you don't know what Game of Game is, it's a TV show that aired on NBC, and I'm trying to bring that here to Rec Room.
That's amazing. How would you implement that in a way that everybody could play it whenever they feel like it? Or is this going to be more of an event-style thing where you purposely host the game?
Thank you.
It's going to be more of a event style thing so that we can like bring contestants in instead of just like releasing all the rooms so that people can actually play it.
See, that's how it's done, folks. When you need interactivity, you need to make sure that everybody's able to play, which is why our regular show, we have a queue system to hopefully bring you up on stage. But we'll worry about that next week. We'll get there when we get there. All right, Laser, we do have another question here for you, and I've been wondering this myself, but a lot of people have been asking, how much Norris could Chuck Norris chuck if Chuck Norris could Chuck Norris?
Well, he would Chuck Norris as much Norris as a Chuck Norris could Norris if a Chuck Norris could Chuck Norris.
Now, that's the kind of answer we can all agree with. Am I right, folks? Give it up for Laser, everybody! Laser, it's always great to have you up on stage, my man, and always great to talk to you. And if you wouldn't mind exiting through the curtain to your left or to your right. Without going into my glass miniatures. All right. I know. I need to move them. That's on me. But anyways, like I said, folks, that's going to be our last person coming up on stage. But we absolutely want to talk to you live on stage. That's why we're getting an event button over in the front of the auditorium. Swing on over there, hit that button, and you'll be able to get updates on when our next show is, which, spoiler warning, it's Sundays at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern every Sunday. So you'll be able to come up on stage and talk about, well, all things you. We want to know your projects. We want to know your dreams. We also want to know about your nightmares so we can torture you with them, but that's besides the point. That's just me. That's just me being a jerk. But in the meantime, folks, you know where to go if you need more things on Pillow Talk. Swing on over to the Discord where you can meet most of the staff. And speaking of which, I want to give a thanks to the awesome staff who came out and made this whole thing possible. Our staff includes Mr. Cam, Boomer GK, Eggs Benedict, Charlie, and of course, Kuiper, Legacy, and Light, and finally, time for Wi-Fi. I mean, time for a new modem. I mean, that guy, Pizza, what's his name? And of course, we have one last question for you, and I'm going to be checking the chat section for this one because I ask this every time I come out on stage, and I want to know, did you have fun? And that's the answer I've been looking for. Thank you all so much for coming out to see Pillow Talk, Broadcast Edition. I've been your host, the Foggy Golem, and we hope to talk to you on your couch next. Toodles!